2017, quite the year. What will we be talking about 20 years from now when we hear the word 2017? Trump, hashtag Me Too, immigration. What will they be talking about Brockton in 2017? Well, we're going to try our best today to give you some insight on the highs and the special moments in a great year for our City of Champions. We have parks, we have recovery, we have health, we have education, and we have some wonderful people that make our city so great. So I want you to sit back and relax and see what 2017 in the City of Champions had to offer. What sets Brockton apart from other cities in our Commonwealth is the schools and the students. In 2017, One North Main covered dozens of events at the high school, middle schools, elementary schools, and Southeastern Regional Vocational, where 60% of the student body is from Brockton. The story of 2017, though, was the Brockton High School boys soccer team. They are Brockton's #1 story in 2017 for a couple of reasons. Yes, they're the first high school team from Brockton to win a state title. Sure, that's great. And they were ranked 7th nationally. Outstanding. But more than that, these sportsmen carried themselves with class and respect, modeling their coach Herminio Furtado, while showing Massachusetts and the rest of the country a glimpse into the finest Brockton has to offer.
There's only one game left to determine the fate of the Boxers season. That is the state final. We went out to Worcester State University, where the Boxers played the Longmeadow Lancers.
His deep throw spinning towards the net, and it's headed in, and Longmeadow has a 1-0 lead, and Brockton's going to use their timeout. This is going to be a Longmeadow opportunity. A semi-break, the cross, and Andrade's not going to be able to get to it. And Longmeadow is able to put it into the back of the net. They're up 2-0 early, only 26 minutes to go in the first half. Whistles blow, the first half has come to an end. For the first time all season, we can say that the Boxers trail 2-0 at halftime. Montero going to curve this one back out towards midfield. Headed nicely and loose. Yeah! In goal! Montero slowing things down, now setting it in and headed in. Brockton scores again! Leonardo Texera from Ensign Lopes, and the Boxers have tied this game. This one's headed in, it's loose!
Let's go! This crowd is going absolutely
Brockton
wild. Let's go!
has the lead with 22:36 to go in this game.
Good soccer players play with one foot. Great soccer players play.
Here's Texera in again. His shot.
Yeah!
And a goal! Leonardo Texera with the hat trick for the Boxers.
Oh.
And Brockton leads 4-2 with 15 minutes to go. The fan base has lost their minds. Brockton, 4 unanswered goals against the West Division champions, the Longmeadow Lancers.
Well, that I saw their backers support the Boxers again, so it's nice to see them continuing that pride.
Deep throw loose, and Longmeadow puts one back into the net, and they draw this game within 1. Carter Rapoli with 2 goals as Texera is in again with an opportunity over to Reven Rodriguez. Reven Rodriguez shoots and he scores off the post and in! And the Boxers have sealed it with under 2 minutes to go in a 5-3 lead in the Division I state title game. The whistles blow, and for the first time in the history of Brockton High School, they are Division I boys soccer champions. The crowd goes nuts. The team has fallen to its knees. And Brockton has come away from Worcester with a state title.
It means a lot. It means the people of Brockton, we're bringing a state champion to you. It's coming tonight. We're so proud of being part of Brockton. Brocktonians, we still have champions, and we showed it here. We had the spirit to go on second half down 2 goals and have the guts, bring the game to them, and score 5 goals in 40 minutes. That's amazing.
Fica marca 3 gols, mas em primeiro lugar o time que nós queremos, mas a carreira que tinha aquele moralista na campo, tinha coach Armin.
Yeah. He said, even though I scored the 3 goals, in reality, the credit goes to the team because without them, I wouldn't have the morale to be on the field and to do that, and to his coach, Arminio Furtado.
I was afraid what happened in the first half was going to happen. So they need to hear from me, and they heard from me strong. And I told them they cannot assume they're going to win this game. Nobody's going to give them this game. They have to go and get it and respect the opponent all the time.
The first state title in Brockton Boxers men's soccer history. What does it mean?
Oh, it is. I mean, surreal. I mean, and you want to talk about Jekyll and Hyde team. They came out, I think they came out overconfident. The coach called them out at it on halftime, and they responded. And I even said to them, hey, if you score early, they may panic, and that's exactly what happened. And no, it's just unbelievable. I'm so excited for the kids and Coach Furtado and Bronco and Fitzgerald. And more importantly for the Brockton community, man, I cannot believe the amount of support that we have gotten over the past week. And no, this is for our city, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Not only did they win the state championship, which we're very proud of, and complimented how great sports you were and gentlemen you were, but you were recognized nationally as being the 7th best team in all of the So, you have no idea.
Leader, firefighter, educator, activist, family man, Wayne McAllister. His passing left us with a heavy heart, but the city did not forget one of their favorite sons. He was an ordinary man that accomplished extraordinary things. Wayne McAllister, Brocktonian.
I just want to be remembered, even if it's negatively, because whatever they say about me, they'll be talking about me, and that is in essence my legacy.
This sign will be here for generations to come.
My father would have been deeply moved by this honor. He often shared with me and my siblings stories of his childhood growing up on Turner Street. He spoke of members of the community looking out for him and his brothers and sisters and making sure they stayed out of trouble. But most importantly, how growing up in Brockton afforded them the opportunities that they might not have had elsewhere.
When I first ran for office, he was my opponent. But it was a joke because there was no debate. We just agreed on life as a principle and taking care of people. And he's forever, prior to that and after, just never had a bad word for anybody, about anybody. I love him, and I'm sure that everybody here felt the same way.
Wayne's style was very quiet, very behind the scenes, and very carefully thought out. The picture that was posted on Facebook to promote this event with his glasses on the bridge of his nose said it all. If he heard something he didn't like or wanted to ponder a bit, he would peer over those glasses and say, "Is that so?" This may mean disapproval or a suggestion that you may need to rethink your position.
When you look at the definition of a public servant, it's someone that gives back to the community without question. At great disadvantage to family life. We do that, and Wayne was a great example of doing that, to give back to his home. He did it as a public servant, as a dedicated firefighter, as a father, a husband, brother, friend.
I came up through the union movement, which unfortunately is being dwindled by the young of today, and it's a very important movement. It most certainly was the mainstay of middle class. It allowed you to buy houses and send your sons and daughters to college. That's being done away with now. People don't understand the importance of how long it took and what the union movement had to go through in order to get where it was. So I attribute any knowledge that I might have acquired to my being involved in the greatest union in America, as far as I'm concerned, and that's the International Association of Firefighters, for which I was on their Human Relations Committee and at the national level, and also as a union vice president and a union president for a small amount of time within the local 144, which is Brockton Firefighters of Mass. That was probably my crowning moment.
He was my brother. He accepted me as his brother. From the first day I got on the job, he was one of the first that I met. So to the Wayne's family, I want to thank you for sharing him with us all those years.
Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. The education I received and he quietly taught changed my life forever, for which I am eternally grateful. I miss Wayne from the bottom of my heart, just like a member of my family. Both my parents are only children, and I had no aunts and uncles. Wayne was like an uncle to me. He was a mentor, he was my friend, and I miss him dearly. Godspeed, Wayne. Suffer no more and rest in peace.
This is to the family of Wayne McAllister in the naming of the Brockton Street in his honor in acknowledgement of his tremendous contributions to the City of Champions. And Wayne was one of our true champions in the City of Brockton. So God bless you.
When my family was notified about the possibility of a street being named in his honor, I have to admit that it was bittersweet. My initial reaction was sadness, but then I had a few laughs with my sister, knowing that had he been alive today to receive this honor, he would have called me and every single one of my siblings, my aunts, my uncles, and probably a few close friends and said, "Did you hear? Wayne McAllister way? When are you going to get a street named after you?" We all know it would have been his way of deflecting the embarrassment he would have felt to have such an honor bestowed upon him. Because nothing my father did was to advance politically or socially. He was sincere in his love for this community, his friends, and of course, his family.
They won't ever be able to say that I didn't begin something and finish it, or that I wasn't involved. Those are the two things that they'll never be able to say. No matter what they think about me or my involvement, they won't be able to say that.
I'm sitting here in BCA Studios where we do election coverage each year, whether it be the city election or the state election. But during the 2017 Brockton City election, this past November, there were 11 contested races for elected office, including mayor, councilor at large, ward councilor, and school committee positions. There were 48 people total running for office in November, including 5 elected officials that were running unopposed. Yes, it was a very busy election season here in Brockton. We at Brockton Community Access aired dozens of interviews, produced and aired debates in most of the contested races, and covered community-based forums and debates. We did this to educate you, the citizens of Brockton, and give you the opportunity to meet the candidates in person on TV, learn about their vision for Brockton, and ultimately encourage you to vote for the candidates that you felt would best serve you and your fellow citizens. I'd like to personally thank my BCA team and most of all, the candidates. After over 30 years in the Brockton Police Department, more than a dozen years as police chief, and over a decade as the Ward 4 City Councilor, Paul Studensky is retiring from public service. Councilor Studensky has been an exemplary public servant, and he will be greatly missed. The new councilor for Ward 4 is attorney Susan Nicastro. More than any previous election cycle, young men and women of color ran for office. Jean Bradley Duranoncourt made history by becoming the first city councilor of Haitian descent. He is a naturalized United States citizen who campaigned hard and has a bright future. He replaced Councilor Shana Barnes, who did not seek re-election, but joined us for election coverage. All 7 school committee members retained their seats despite challenges in 4 of the 7 wards. After all of the campaigning and canvassing ended on November 7th, Election Day, we were out in the field in the early morning hours and reported the results to you after 8 o'clock when the polls closed, live from our studio. It was quite the day. We're here in studio, in BCA Studios. I have the panel that we've had for a couple of different election cycles and new faces. So Steve Foote is here joining me in studio. Steve's been to my left, and even when I was running, he was always here. Tom Minicello, who is on our board. He's the vice chair of the school committee, and luckily he's unopposed, so I can have him here in studio. And outgoing Councilor at Large Shana Barnes, who was added to the repertoire here. We'll run down the races. We'll show you the pictures, but out in the field today, I'm going to go right to this because we don't know exactly when we're going to get the numbers. We have, Jay Miller was out this morning early in the morning, as early as 7:30, talking to different candidates.
Election day is when it all comes together. It's a lot of months of a lot of hard work by a lot of volunteers, and it all comes together on Election Day. In some ways, we can't wait to get it over, but it's an exciting day for all of us, and we're looking forward to a big win when the count comes in tonight.
The parks, you had talked about parks as when you were first running in 2013, and it's been incredible what's happened over the past 4 years.
Well, parks and playgrounds have been a focus because I believe that parks and playgrounds help stabilize neighborhoods. I believe parks and playgrounds improve the quality of life for people who live in the city.
It was a great experience. I think this is something that you could only get through a campaign and running a campaign, and having your name on the ballot as well, especially making it through the primary and going to the general election as well. This is something that I'm looking to share with everyone also, so it's something that's developing. It's a building development, and we want to make sure that we get everyone involved, get out the vote, and get involved. That's the most important thing, and get active.
Thank you to Jay for getting the candidate reaction, Mayor Carpenter, and his challenger, Jimmy Pereira.
Do I give him credit for running for mayor? It's a big effort.
Jimmy Pereira's a young kid. He's got a long way to go.
City council race, city councilor at large race.
I think if you look at the preliminary, only 9.5% of the voters registered even went out to vote. So I have to say right now there's probably some apathy, and we hope to turn that around today and going forward, because at the end of the day, we're all in this city together, those that live here and work here, and the only way really to make positive change is to go to the ballot box and vote.
The voters finally having their choice after all of us as candidates have perhaps droned on and on for 4 or 5 months with the different issues. I just hope there is a good turnout because you're picking people who will lead the city for the next 2 years.
We're all in this city together, those that live here and work here, and the only way really to make positive change is to go to the ballot box and vote. And I'm asking all the voters today to go out and consider voting me.
I just want to say thank you to all the voters today to go out today and actually cast their vote. We're running this one after being our 3rd time. We've gained the experience over the last 4 years of serving on the planning board and the zoning board. So as my motto goes right now, experience does matter.
We have some numbers from Ward 5. We're going to put them up on the screen.
Yeah, she won by how many?
I think it was 3 votes.
3. Official after the recount, it was 3.
If this is close to official, she must feel very good in terms of the difference.
What is it, 7:30 in the morning? Well, let's put it this way, it's extremely hectic. I serve on 3 committees now. My big thing is letting people know, then they can decide what they think. If they don't know, how can they decide? And that's huge, I believe. And that's what I want to do in the next 2 years. I hope I'm elected. I hope people get out there and vote. I want to thank people that fill out absentee ballots, thank our veterans that give us the right to vote in the first place, and those serving everywhere in this country and abroad.
So that's the Ward 5.
You know, these folks are putting up really good numbers. They're really impressive numbers, especially for some of the first-time candidates.
Actually, this is my third term running for Ward 5 School Committee, and I have the experience and the education and the background to serve in this position. I've served presently 4 years, and I'm looking forward for your vote, everybody. Ward 5 School Committee, Judy Sullivan.
In Ward 6 School Committee, we have incumbent Joyce Asak, and her competitor is Felicia A. Chalmers.
All right, so Shirley, you got a team here that's been with you for...
It's Joyce, Jay.
Oh my God. I just called Joyce Asak, Shirley.
I just want to thank everyone for their support. We've been door knocking, meeting some amazing residents in Ward 6, and it's nice to finally, put faces with a lot of our residents. I want to thank my team. My mom is my #1 supporter. She's just been there for me from day one.
And believe it or not, I have a live candidate, Jean Bradley, Durancourt. Good to see you.
See you.
You must be tired. It's been a long day.
Well, I'm exhausted. That's the best way to put it. But I love it. It's been 10 months since we've been doing this, and I could not be more happy or proud than the people of Brockton. And I think the result is about to come out, and we'll see what happens. So I would like to thank the Brockton Cable Access for the opportunity they give all of us to expose our platform and, of course, to talk about the issues. So, I hope, I'll be one of the fourth to serve on the City Council at large coming up January. When I take a look at my father, who's been in this country for the past 27 years, I think my dad has demonstrated the ability not just to live in this country, but to work for the benefits of this country. And that's what I would like people to understand. It's not just we as those people or that people, but it's we as immigrants. We come from somewhere else, but we landed here. What we do, we embrace the system or assimilate and dive into it. And that's what I've been able to do. And you know what? And I think Brockton, like I said, regardless what happened in this election, Brockton is one of the best places that I've ever lived.
Of all the candidates that we've had, incumbent and first-time candidates or the challengers, Jean Bradley was the only candidate of color that made it in all the races.
I think that the people of Brockton, vote for the best person.
We're going to go to video that we have in the mayor's race that just came into the studio. Let's take a look at what Newbie has sent us.
Jody Rogers.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
I'm going in a minute. You got me on the way in.
Bill, it's your first re-elected, first time, 3 terms after Jack Nunes, actually.
Right.
So congratulations on that. Talk about your thoughts on the re-election today, third term.
I'm ecstatic, and I'm humbled by the results. I appreciate the confidence that the voters of this city have shown in me for the 3rd time. It was only 4 years ago that we were here with our first win. So I guess that's part of the issue with the 2-year term, is that I've been elected for the 3rd time, although I've served less than 4 years as mayor. But the fact of the matter is that a majority of the voters of this city showed their confidence in the work that we've done so far, that they've given me their vote of confidence to continue the work that we're doing. And I appreciate it, I'm humbled by it, and I will continue to work just as hard, if not harder, to make Brockton the type of city that we all want to live in.
Congratulations to Mayor Bill Carpenter, and all I can say to Jimmy Pereira is he put up a really good fight. The spread is a close spread, 5,550 votes or 1,103 in between. Okay, a lot of hard-fought campaigns. You saw those campaigns out there. You saw the bigger-than-life posters, signs. That's the wave of things to come. Even Tom got into the act. Tom had a couple of big signs out there, one in a very prominent location on Pearl Street. I like that sign,
Well,
Tom.
no one can say I didn't put in some effort.
Absolutely.
I love Brockton. There's so many segments that we wanted to throw into this year's One North Main year-end special, but we simply couldn't fit them. However, I have a love letter for all you in the form of a video.
Little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it. See how jumping feeling high. You didn't know I could jump so high. You didn't know I could jump so still.
The Chinese New Year is known as the Spring Festival. If If you see Janice Fitzgerald walking down the street, tell her to stop heckling me, please.
Kite flying is not your thing.
Best friends don't. Well, I guess best friends are honest.
Best friends are real honest.
What do I need to improve?
Well, it's your form, your technique.
Was I too slow? Was my left arm loose? What was it?
Your kite was kind of small.
I do have a small kite.
Yeah.
Dottie Slack often partners up with Julie Lom of the Brockton VNA. Make sure not to miss one of their Brockton Knocks Down Diabetes meetings. No, I beg you for your forgiveness! Ah! You talking to me? You talking to me? I'm the only one here. You talking to me? Man, is it hot in here? How about those Patriots, huh? This is a tough crowd. Leo, quick to the bench. We gotta get out of here. Let's go. Rumor has it that you were seen on Bourbon Street at about 3:30 a.m. You want to confirm or deny?
I plead the fifth. No comment.
So that's why I'm here. Oh, that's an awful thing right there because it's my side and my Greek nose. And thank you. That's good. Much better. I appreciate that. You know, you got to, at this age, you got to just, get the right shots and the right lighting. So
we can take questions from the audience.
Are you okay with that? Want me to bring the mic over? Does that help you?
No, it's good.
What's your name, by the way?
Jay.
Jay, nice to meet you. I'm Maria.
Maria Stefanos?
Yes.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Wait. It's a pleasure. I love your work.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Are you from here?
I am not. I am actually live in Abington. I grew up, let's see, many years ago. I was born at South Shore Hospital. No. And 50. Woo! Woo-hoo. Can we see a demonstration?
Not today.
Tim, I don't think you like me very much. Is that true?
I didn't say it.
John, with the middle name John.
Yep, as a child, I used to get ribbed all the time. John. I think my parents didn't like me.
Any thoughts? Yeah, he's watching you. Yeah. No donuts! Yeah! Johnny Handsome, there will be no more munchkins for you. Business is growth across the city, and business, my friends, is good. The downtown is slowly but surely showing signs of life. The big news from 2017 related to the downtown is the Ganley Building. At the corner of Belmont and Main Street, it's the first building that people see coming into the downtown area. And let me tell you, it was an eyesore, no question about it. Well, we got news this year that they're tearing it down and rebuilding it from the ground up. We're looking forward to seeing that. We also covered many Chamber of Commerce events in the area, including a special meeting at Brewster Ambulance. The Chamber also sponsors one of our favorite events annually, the Taste of Metro South. Add the Taste of Southeastern Technical Institute, sprinkle in a dozen or so restaurants showing off their culinary clout, then throw in a little dash of fun, and the finished product can be delivered to the table. Yum.
Hi, so we are here for the 25th annual Taste of Metro South.
The 25th annual Taste of Metro South.
I was fighting an old woman for a chicken bone inside, and I lost. Yeah.
What did she do?
She got the chicken bone. What are you talking about?
What is in store? Plenty of surprises. And Sandy, are you fired up tonight?
I'm fired up, Jay.
Where'd you come up with the name?
It's actually my mother-in-law's. It was my wife's maiden name.
Oh, and you named it McGuigan's?
I didn't have to go far for the name.
Richard has the shepherd's pie, names it after his mother-in-law. That's where you go.
Todd, what do you got going on tonight?
Oh, we got, first of all, how are you? And
I'm doing well.
congratulations on Metro South Chamber of Commerce, 25 years having a taste of Metro South. And the Chinese sausage, as I say, are like spare ribs without the bone.
Oh, you were hit by a car?
We were hit by a car, tractor trailer. We have a nice new frontage of our building. It looks great.
Red Velvet seems to have taken off in the last decade. Is that true, or has it been around forever?
No, it has taken off in the last decade.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's the cream cheese frosting.
Oh, it couldn't be that.
My name is Mike Rigo. I'm the owner of Epicure Wine Bar Jazz Club in West Bridgewater. So tonight we're featuring some of our specialty cheese spreads. You know, wine and cheese, you can't go wrong. So over here we got one of our very popular, this is a garlicky feta spread.
That's smooth. That's smooth.
And then a goat cheese with raisins, scallions, pine nuts, and a house-made pomegranate balsamic dressing.
That is smooth. It's beautiful. It's got so much flavor. It's outstanding.
What's amazing about the Taste of Metro South is it celebrates all that's good about living and working in the Metro South region. And so you've got a taste of restaurants, you have a taste of cultural attractions, you have a taste of music, great music.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mad Dog. Happy birthday to you.
So excited for these layers of pasta, cheese, meat. We've got lasagna, 5 cheese ziti, and stuffed rigatoni. Wicked excited, wicked excited.
Come on, take a bite.
This is the first one.
You can make people have self-confidence that they didn't have before, which is really nice to see people smile and be confident about the way they look and just make them smile when they walk out the door.
They make learning fun. I hate learning, but I like learning here.
And where are you from?
I'm from East Bridgewater.
East Bridgewater, how about you?
I'm from Raynham.
Raynham?
I'm from Brockton.
Brockton, okay. I'm Brockton. Okay, so what do you want to tell any prospective student that might want to come here?
Do it!
Do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
Do it?
Do it.
Program. I've been enrolled in Southeastern for about 2 years now.
What is your favorite meal that you love to make?
Definitely chicken florentine.
Wonderful day at the office. This is a great event, great turnout today. We have great partners out there with the vendors, and I see a lot of smiling faces and full bellies.
We're interviewing Mark Lindy, the chair of the Southeastern School Committee. How are you today?
What could be better than this? Good food, good people, community members to show off our evening school, the STI, and the day school.
For those of us that visit and use the parks in the city of Brockton, 2017 was quite the year. DW Field was host to a flurry of activity culminating in the annual Tower Fest celebration. McKinley Park in Ward 6 has a new basketball court and a new playground courtesy of the New England Patriots Foundation. And teachers and principal Mary Beth O'Brien moved from the Huntington School to their new home, the Gilmore School. They transformed the recess area with help from the YMCA and local businesses. And the grandest park improvement throughout the city in 2017 was unquestionably Keith Park, right here on the south side of Brockton. A true collaborative effort spearheaded by the Keith Park Neighborhood Association was a tip of the cap to the past and an eye to the future.
There's an old proverb that says, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We here today know that that has proven that saying to be true. James Keith began our story when he immigrated to America from Scotland in 1662. George Keith continued it when he started the Walkover Shoe Company over on Perkins Ave in 1874.
Keith attracted and employed thousands of immigrants to work in his factory and provided for them recreational resources, medical and nutritional offerings unknown in the 19th century workplace. It is fitting that this park stands where not only his ancestral home once stood, but where his own home and that of his brother Myron stood in the shadow of his once great manufacturing facility.
Myron Keith, his brother, added to that story when he followed the wishes of his brother, George, took down the family mansion, created this park, and handed the deed to then Mayor Lucy in 1952.
The Keith family presented the deed to Mayor Lucy, who is Claire's uncle.
The Keith Park Neighborhood Association began our part of the story with our first meeting on February 11th, 2014. Hard to believe it was that long ago, almost 4 years. Through the park cleanups, Easter egg hunts, community dining out nights, Friday night flicks in the park, Flag Day picnics, holiday lantern walks, and our most recent Campello 1917 pop-up village, we've worked to make this park, the George E. Keith Park, our Campello Town Green.
I want to really thank the community for participating in this process. Something that I've only been a part of Brockton for maybe 3 years now. And a philosophy that the mayor and I share is that this is all of our city, and we all have to be involved in planning and in creating place and restoring the things that we love, preserving the things that need to be protected, and growing in areas where we need to expand our economy.
Before there's a plan, thanks to Beals and Thomas, before there's blueprints, thanks to Vozella Construction, there has to be a vision. And back in 2013, Mayor Carpenter and I had a conversation about community engagement, how it's important, how it could look in Brockton, how to get it going, how it could benefit our citizens and our city. You know, Mr. Mayor, there's another saying we like at KPNA. If you think you're too small to make a difference, spend one night in a room with a mosquito. But thanks to you, the mosquitoes of the Keith Park Neighborhood Association and the Campello community have made a difference here. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our Mayor, Bill Carpenter.
But the first thing I think of this morning is collaboration, because truly a lot of different folks and groups came together to make this possible, and Tim Carpenter from the Parks Department, Rob and his planning team, the BRA, because we did also use some CDBG money to match the state grant money, and particularly, as Lynn mentioned, the Keith Park Neighborhood Association, because the community input and the community ownership of this park is what makes it work, and it's what makes it worth the investment. It fits a larger goal and game plan of ours of reclaiming and reinvesting in all of our parks and playgrounds and green spaces, and believing firmly that you stabilize neighborhoods, restore neighborhoods, and improve business districts when the neighborhood and the people who live there reclaim ownership and control of the green spaces.
Perfect. Oh, and look, they're getting watered. Oh, they're getting watered. Good. That I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree.
One North Main exists to showcase our community and the people that make it special. For this year in review, we wanted to highlight an event unique to Brockton. Not an easy task when there's over 520 staff-produced events at Brockton Community Access. However, there was one event that cannot be duplicated. 100 years in the making, community leader Lynn Smith and her merry band of operatives took us back in time to Campello Pop-Up Village, 1917. Hey dude, I'm gonna go right by you. I have a microphone in one hand and the basketball in the other hand, and I'm gonna take you to school. I am going to take you to school. Oh!
Young man, wake up. It's 1917. You should be down at the selective service registering for World War I. You're of soldier age. Get up. Get up. Hi, I'm Lynn Smith. I'm the treasurer of the Keith Park Neighborhood Association, and we'd like to welcome you to our pop-up village. We're celebrating Campello of 1917, but more importantly, we're celebrating all of our ancestors who were immigrants and settlers here in Campello.
We are the South Shore Men of Harmony. We're a barbershop chorus, a group of 15, 20-odd gentlemen that like to get together and sing. And we're going to get started for you right now with a couple of songs, one right into the next. And if you know them, sing along. If you don't, tap your feet, clap your hands. Thank you.
The old songs, the old songs, the good old songs for me. I love to hear those minor chords and good old harmonies. Down our way, both night and day, you know everybody and they all know you. And even policemen say, how do you do? Pals by the score and gals galore, and that whole gang of mine, they stand sweet at the line. Down our way.
My name is Phyllis Ellis. I'm the first vice president of the Brockton NAACP. Here with me is Ray Hennison. He's an executive officer.
Hi, how you doing?
We are here today at the Campello Pop-Up because we want to talk about our history. We went back 100 years ago in 1917. Most people do not know that the NAACP was founded in 1909, and it was always biracial. It was founded by 2 white Caucasians and 1 male. W.E. Du Bois, Moorfield Story, and Mary White Covington. Now, The Brockton branch was chartered in 1954, and we have meetings the fourth Monday of every month.
It's just wonderful to be here on this wonderful Sunday afternoon. As a board member of the Frederick Douglass Neighborhood Association, it's a group of members who we've dedicated a park, and we're here today celebrating the pop-up village in Campello. So we're going back in time 100 years from 2017 back to 1917. So we have several exhibits, and the two African-American churches, Messiah Baptist and Lincoln Congregational Church, they were both 20 years old, and we're celebrating the business acumen of Watt Terry, Brockton's first black millionaire, and also the celebrated service of Orleans Burton, who was the first African-American to die from Brockton in World War I.
In March of 1917 is when President Woodrow Wilson signed the Jones Act, essentially making Puerto Ricans U.S. citizens. About 20,000 Puerto Ricans served in the U.S. Army during World War I, right after their citizenship, months after they served faithfully in the war. The Puerto Rican population increased to about 70,000 by 1940 and to close to 900,000 by 1960. And it was really in the 60s and in the 70s that the Puerto Rican movement was formed, tackling social, cultural, political, and educational inequalities in the United States and in Puerto Rico.
How you doing? It's a simple question we're often asked every day. Our normal response is, good. You? Our health is so important, and in 2017, Brockton was full of healthy programs and initiatives throughout our fair city. The Brockton Knocks Down Diabetes Coalition, they provided year-round service citywide based on prevention, maintenance, and support services. They reached people from the ages of 5 to 85. Signature Healthcare held their 18th annual Champions Fighting Cancer Walk to help raise money for the new cancer center. It's a beautiful spot. And there were dozens of walks and runs that helped charitable organizations raise money throughout the city. Our biggest event was an endurance test. It was a triathlon held right here at DW Field Park. The ultimate in endurance, participants biked, kayaked, and ran, pushing their bodies and their minds to the limit. One North Main correspondent, Mad Dog Matt Nelson, was there to, well, watch. Let's take a look.
Well, this is our 13th year, and we've been extremely lucky with the weather. Today's, if you're a competitor, it's a hot one. Bike, boat, run. They go 4 times around on the bike, and they got to go up Tower Hill 4 times, so that takes it out of your legs. And people come to this park and go, wow, this place is beautiful. A lot of good vibes. I was talking to the mayor. I said, we'd like to have a bike race up the park, and he said triathlon would be good up there, and I thought, yeah, that is a good idea. Well, myself and Bill McGrain put it together. We added Andy Baker for the boatyard and Mark Blandon for the runners. So we've had a core for a 4-person committee, and we've tweaked it here and there, but we got the distances where people seem to like them. They're not too long and not too easy. Just talking to some seasoned triathletes, and they said this was harder than I thought. So it's a small park, but it's got a good variety of hills and grades and so forth. So it's a lot of variety. proceeds always go to the Brockton Neighborhood Health Center, and they're not only the beneficiary, but they're a big help to us in terms of mailings and emails. One of their development officer, Michelle Pontrian, is on our committee, comes to some of our meetings, and they have a lot of good ideas about promotion and so forth. So they're not only the beneficiary, they're a real partner in the race. Okay, next year I promise to have, I'm putting myself on the spot, the biggest turnout we've had, because we're going to do a little more promotion, and we're going to get started right after this race, setting up for our dates for next year, putting it on active.com, and take advantage of the enthusiasm of people that just finished and go, wow, that was fun, let's do it again.
Well, that just about wraps up another successful DW Field Park Triathlon, biking, boating, and running, of which I did none. Jay, what do you got going on?
Big sprint. Good job.
Brockton is not immune to the opioid crisis sweeping the country. In true Brockton fashion, individuals and agencies like the Mayor's Office and Teen Challenge are taking action to battle this issue. Teen Challenge New England, its headquarters located here in Brockton, exists to bring life-changing hope to addicts and their families. With community support, they are empowering individuals to take control of their lives and lead a productive life.
We gotta keep moving in action. We gotta keep having more courage to take a stand and to do something about it, to make a difference. It's people like all of you that are sitting here today because you care about those that are hurting, those that are less fortunate. You're concerned about parents that have lost loved ones through this epidemic, and you're doing something about it. Just your presence says what you're doing about it. And thank you.
The Mayor's Opioid Overdose Coalition created the Champion Plan, a unique collaborative program among many city and regional agencies that provide support and resources to those afflicted with addiction. The Champion Plan celebrated its first anniversary in 2017, culminating in a powerful message from one of its success stories, Peyton Lee. Let's check it out.
Champion Plan is our version of a police-assisted recovery program that is unique to Brockton. So individuals can walk into Brockton Police Department that are suffering from a substance use disorder and ask for help. And we will help them based on what their needs are. So some individuals need detox, some it may be outpatient therapy, some medically assisted treatment, or some maybe just someone to talk to and listen to.
Wow. 1 year for the Champion Plan. Not too long ago, I was a person that had nothing. Not even tears to cry. I felt invisible. Invisible to the world, invisible to my emotions, and invisible to my family. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all seen the addicted standing outside the liquor store or at a gas station, just begging for a little bit of change. If we can try, just for a moment, to visualize the person. Take a second for what they were to see what they can still be.
It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community to impact an epidemic. And this is an example of a community impact in the effort that has been put in by the Mayor Carpenter, with his vision, his leadership, his commitment, and his support. This has been a major enterprise, not only for Gandara, for the community, for the volunteers, for the peers. This is an amazing example of what a united community can do.
Venusa is celebrating 1 year of sobriety, and we wanted to recognize that. That's a perfect. Here we go.
1 year for the champion plan. The rest of somebody's life. To a family. To a husband. To a son. Brother. Uncle. And a friend. Your 1 year can be the rest of somebody's life that you can change. I love you all so much. I love this community. And to this day, right now, I love my life. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, Brockton. 2017 in the books. Quite a year. Thank you so much for watching throughout the year. We really appreciate it. If this 1 hour gave you a taste to see more Brockton-based events, I want you to check out our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/TheBrocktonChannels, all one word. For executive producer Mark Lindy and producer Aaron Tebow, I'm Jay Miller, and we'll see you in 2018.
Our Long Meadow boys soccer team played Brockton in the state championship last night at Worcester State. Although our players did not achieve the win they were hoping for, they played their hearts out. At the end of the game, our players were devastated, falling to the ground. They had worked so hard all season and were disappointed with the outcome. The reason I am reaching out to you is to let you know how incredibly kind the Brockton players were to our players in that moment of sadness. I witnessed 2 Brockton players pick my son up, and both of them hugged him tight. I was in awe of their sportsmanship and kindness. My son told me that they complimented his play and told him to keep on fighting. Long Meadow was truly honored to play Brockton. Please pass this along to your coaches and players. We are so happy that they won the state championship. It is players like them that have a bright future on and off the field. And this is signed by Erin Horniak, who is the president of the Long Meadow High School Boys Soccer Boosters Club, a parent of one of the players of the team and the president of their boosters. And I wanted to share that not just with the team and the players, but with the rest of the city, because I just think that says it all and is a true testament into the manner in which not just that the Boxers team won the championship, but the manner in which they won it.